today's session is about retrospective. What would you explain retrospective to our team here?
Retrospective, I see it as a really important meeting out of all the ceremonies, actually. It's one of the most important aspects of Scrum. Scrum, like I said before in our videos before, I said that Scrum is all about continuous improvement and continuous delivery. Continuous improvement comes out of retro. Retro is a very important, and that's when you come for an improvement as far as an action item that you take on so you can improve next sprint and deliver more and more. To meet retro, I actually try to make sure only the team members join retro. So I try as much as I can not to let management join retro. I try as much as I can not to let anybody else from outsiders to join retro. Retro is a place which is a safe environment for my team members to actually talk freely, speak out loud their mind, to actually make them feel that they're protected and they're safe in that room to say out loud how they felt about last sprint. And if they really felt that there's something that needs to be improved, they don't have to wait for management. They don't have to be afraid of management being there and listening on. My job is to deliver that same message in a nice way to management by coming out of that meeting by an action item. So first, to me, and like in my past, how I've always done retro, I send out a fund. There's a lot of, there's a lot of websites out there, like Fund Retro, Trello, all these out there. I use one of them, whichever. I prefer Trello just because of the nice themes that you can pick.
Sure, I'll actually share one of my team's idea boards. We can speak to this, so go ahead.
So yeah, this is basically an idea board, same idea, same concept. I send out a link and tell them to fill it out. One of them is going to be what went well, what didn't go so well, and what we can improve on. And they can go ahead and fill in with cards, That I send that about a couple hours before the meeting starts, and then I go ahead and kick off the meeting, but with an icebreaker, something funny to say, make sure everybody is comfortable sitting in their chair, everybody's smiling, everybody has positive attitude, all that nice positivity things before having a productive meeting. You want to have all these things in the room. You don't want to eliminate any negativity out of that room. Then I start my meeting, but with a game. It could be an icebreaker. It could be, one of my favorite games is I told my team members to tell me about last sprint with one word. Describe last sprint with one word. And I know, Mohammed, you're very big about games and you support that a lot. So go ahead and share a little bit of what you know about the games and how to icebreak and team building activities and, for retro.
Sure. To backtrack a little bit, I want to speak, maybe talk to the board that we are sharing right now about Fun Retro. So pretty much I just shared how to build the board. Pretty much you share the link, send it to your team, and you ask what went well, what didn't go well, shout out an action item. This is something that Scrum does not call for shout out, but pretty much Scrum calls for collaboration, and it really goes a long way when you thank somebody out in public. So pretty much we start about what went well, and I personally don't try anything on the board except if like I really want to write. But usually I leave this to the team to actually express their feeling. So and I found out that putting a shout out or a thank you will encourage people to actually show their feelings, and then they will show on a personal level and then on a project level as well. So action items here, for example, we need to automate data hub deployment. This is an action item. We need to access data hub deployment for offshore, and then you would have my name on it. So I was the owner of it. Muhammad before got asked in an interview, give me in less than a minute, what is the explanation of retro? What is the purpose of retro in less than a minute? And Muhammad answered, action item. And that's it. Which is truly, this is the purpose of retro. You do all these stuff to come up with a couple of action item or one, or you don't want to come up with 10 and don't achieve anything with them. So you want to limit action items as well, 1 to 3 max. And then act upon that. There's teams that I've worked with that they keep this action item as a story with a 0 point, but it's on the board to be tracked as well with like an owner to make sure that we're burning these action items or we're accomplishing them and we're continuously improving, not just calling out items that doesn't go anywhere. So this is a life example of a board. Now I want to go through the icebreaker, which is pretty much every retrospective. There is this psychologist that wrote this paper about that every team, if you have people in a room and if you manage to make them speak in the first 5 minutes, every single one to speak in the first 5 minutes, most likely the whole room will be engaged. And if there is anyone that is left out, didn't speak in the first 5 to 10 minutes, it means most likely these people or this person, most likely that he or she will not be engaged for the rest of the meeting. So the purpose of icebreaker is actually getting everyone to participate in something, either say or act on something that they feel that we're all in this together. In this 1 hour together, we're trying to actually have fun as well. So icebreaker here, it's a key mechanism to improve actually the meeting. It shouldn't take long. It should be around maybe 10 minutes, maximum 12, 15 minutes. Shouldn't take the whole retro. But trust me, it goes like I have my team member one time that it was a very tough sprint. I was sick as well, and I went to retrospective, try to start without icebreaker, and they told me, come on, we come here interested to play the game first. So it made me always throughout my career now, I always try to look for new icebreaker. So go ahead if you want to add anything to this.
Let's zoom into the picture a little bit more. And what would you say is, we said what's the purpose of retro, and we said it's action. What's the purpose of the game?
Purpose of the game is to get everyone participate, and there's 2 purposes for me, actually. So if it was a very hard sprint, I want the room to be laughing. So I will pick something like this. If you could have any pit in the world, what could you have? And I've had somebody who said
that's a perfect example.
This is somebody, actually, one of my team members, he said, I want to have an alligator. It's very good for hiding evidence. So made the whole room laugh, and then everyone started actually saying what they want. What did you want to become when growing up? Somebody said he wanted to be a dinosaur, and he was running across the street hitting his head. So he made the room laugh as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is when it was a very tough sprint, and you want people to de-stress, right? Mm-hmm. And now I have something as well for a team building activity, which maybe it's okay sprint, and now everyone is comfortable, everyone is delivering, it's kind of like calm. You want to actually start getting people to stand up, right? So this game is my favorite as well, which is helium stick. So you ask people to stand in 2 lines in front of each other. The goal of the game is to actually hold the stick with 2 fingers. Each one holds the stick with 2 fingers. We're all lined up as the picture that you see. And the goal is to, all of us, bring the stick to the ground. Ironically, this stick will keep going up every time I play it. Trust me, 100%, it will keep going up because everyone is focused on their piece, which is you hold it. And if the stick goes up a little bit from here, they will just compensate, and then it will keep going higher and higher. Once you tell them, all right, the goal is to go down, you guys are going up, can we talk to each other? And once they start talking to each other, like, all right, now I'm start going, and you see people starting actually touches the ground. So it teaches them, and trust me, people start laughing. As you see in the picture, people are smiling because it's something out of the norm, and they actually feel now they could go, a person could go to his wife, go to his kid. I have a team member who actually said that he played this with his family. So it is a team building activity. It makes you like a family. And then you dive into, after you we finish this, you dive into actually, all right, now it was, thank you for the game, it was lovely, let's go into idea boards. And you guys have the link in front of you. So, oops, not here. And then you see idea boards, which is pretty much...
Which is perfect. So now we get to the retro board part, yeah. which is actually the real purpose of the meeting. You know, before you just want to make sure, like Mohammed said, that's why I asked him what's the purpose of the game, is to make sure everybody's happy when they're in the meeting, they got engaged already for a couple minutes, and about something that's not related to work, something that's not serious. So you got everybody engaged already.
Yeah.
So now we move into retrospective, the retro board, when we see what actually the tickets that people actually talked about last sprint.
Yeah.
I like to always highlight the positivity. So I always talk about it and read it out loud in front of everybody. What went well? I focus on that for about 10 minutes maybe and celebrate that and acknowledge the people. Like, for example, if I say, Mohammed was supporting me last sprint like crazy. He worked actually overtime to support me and all that. That you want to acknowledge that in front of your people, in front of the team, so the team feels appreciated.
Yep.
Also, you want to, and then you of course gonna talk about the things that people need to improve on. Which are things are always important. People need to look at improvement, and improvement is very important. So we need to do it on a microscope level, where you read every single ticket and have the team talk about it. Let's discuss this as a topic.
Yeah, I usually, like, if it's something very obvious, like something like Ivan, went well. Ivan for order testing, it went. I read it and it's okay. I don't have to expand on it. But something, if it's like kind of like had issues with Jenkins because of which deployment was delayed, I kind of like, all right, can we speak a little bit about this? I kind of like want to expand on it and let's discuss it. So if it's something straightforward, you want to still be mindful that this meeting is 1 hour, so let's be exactly on time to achieve an icebreaker and coming up with a couple of action items that celebrate our success. There's something as well which teams sometimes or which interviewers ask about. Where do you do retro? I would say the best retro is every time you try to do something new, which is an icebreaker. If you can actually take your team out, try a different room every time, this is the moment for the team to actually do whatever they want. So pretty much try to make it special every time, because it's an end of a sprint, and make sure, like in the agile world, there is not actually an end. When there's an end, there's another sprint starting. So you're doing this retro maybe in the next sprint, first day, there's actually work happening. You gotta wrap this up in an hour. You gotta come up with an objective. It's always very, very, very fast moving pace. So you gotta keep up. You gotta actually understand what is the team, where is the pain in the team right now, where is the room for improvement, and still be aligned with the timelines and pushing the team to achieve their max. Anything, Mohammed, that you feel that we have missed around that?
No, really. Just I really try to. So the way I do it, we talk about all the parts that we simply need to improve on, all the tickets, and we discuss them as a team, and then I make sure that the team go ahead and vote on these tickets.
Yep.
So
that's why you see votes here.
Yeah. Once you see votes, for example, you see what went well, what didn't go well, and shout outs. Yep. So in the what it didn't go well, I tell my team to go ahead and vote on these. And let's see which one has the higher votes, which becomes the higher priority, the one that's impacting most of the team members. That's the one that I focus on, and I tell them, does it make sense for us to take this one as an action item? And I make sure that action item is assigned to somebody from the team. A new thing in the new Scrum Guide actually is telling you that you take the action item and put it as a user story in your next sprint. Yep. To make sure, and you make sure it's assigned to somebody. And usually, I wanted to share with you guys something about I wanted to share with you guys something about an action item. You don't want anything as an action item. So an action item, to me, it has to have SMART criteria, which is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and it has to be done within the time frame of the sprint. So if an action item has these things, then I make sure that it's going to be a healthy sprint, and I'll make sure that this action item will be taken care of. We don't want to say that we want an action item that's not realistic. For example, you're working in a building and you want another elevator in the building, you know? That's not an action item that you can take. You want something that's realistic, something that's specific, that's measurable.
Something you can achieve.
Exactly.
And in a time box that you want to achieve this action item in the next sprint, in the next 10 working days before the next sprint. Usually your action item should be something that you can achieve super quick. Otherwise, we will have a huge backlog of action items.
So yeah, that's about it with retrospective. I think we covered it pretty well. Just make sure that the whole team is happy when they're joining the meeting, happy when they're leaving the meeting, and make sure that you acknowledge everyone and make sure that that you are supporting them 100%, and you take that action item, no matter what it is, you take it and share that with management.
Great. Last thing I want to say exactly is about telling your manager you are not allowed to be in the room. Of course, I never say that you're not allowed, but I say always, hey, Scrum Guide advises that there's no management in this meeting, especially because there's a lot of people might get threatened when their manager in the room. So usually we want this room to be management free. People should speak up to their or up to, they should speak to themselves pretty much. They shouldn't be somebody else. They shouldn't be threatened with somebody in the room. And after we finish the meeting, I actually usually share this link and pass it on to management that this what went well, what did not go well, and these are our action items, and this is what we're acting on. So you're not 100% keeping them in the dark, you're keeping them 100% informed, but you're keeping the team to do whatever they want to achieve the goal that management wants. Thank you, everyone. You guys have a great day, and please reach out if you need anything from our side.
Thank you, guys.